The world government was created many centuries ago by the leaders of 20 countries that fought against the Great Kingdom. Since then, the organization has gained many new members and has solidified its grasp over the rest of the world. At one point, it seemed that world government was ruled by the 5 elders, but later it was confirmed that there is an authority above them. From the perspective of a common person, these individuals have been responsible for all the big decisions that the world government has made, such as the massacre that took place in O'Hara. They have also been responsible for covering up many other tragedies that have taken place in the One Piece world. The 5 elders' main goal is to protect the reputation of the world government, and they will do anything in their power to ensure it remains that way. They do not care if hundreds of people die, as long as their goals are met. Suffice it to say, whenever the 5 elders make an appearance, something big is guaranteed to happen. This was proved again in One Piece chapter 1083, when a king from one of the oldest countries in the world went to meet them, one of a kind. Most of the rulers in One Piece tend to be selfish, arrogant, and completely obnoxious, but as always, there are a few exceptions, such as Nefertari Cobra. He was the king of Alabasta and was devoted to serving his people and making sure that they would live without any problems. Cobra was also an honorable man who stood up for the sake of justice. So when his death was announced, the entire world was shocked. The blame for Cobra's death was put on Sabo, the chief of staff of the Revolutionary Army. But it was obvious that Sabo would never do such a thing. So, who could have been responsible for Cobra's death? In chapter 1083, it was revealed that Cobra was granted an audience with the 5 elders. Pell and Shaka were not permitted to enter, so Cobra ordered them to look after Vivi. This particular event took place around the same time that Sabo was looking for Bartholomew Kuma. It is highly likely that Sabo stumbled across the room in which Cobra was meeting the 5 elders and learned about what happened there. Why did the world government kill Cobra? The truth behind Cobra's death still remains a mystery, but it is linked to his meeting with the 5 elders. It is very suspicious that he was the only person who was invited to meet with him. The 5 elders probably wanted something from him, or they wanted to lure him in to get rid of him. Considering Cobra's personality, it is highly likely that he would have rejected any absurd demands from the 5 elders, which could have resulted in his death. It is important to remember that the Nefertari family refused to settle in Mariajoy despite being one of the 20 founding members. It doesn't make sense for them to work with the world government and then decide against settling in the Holy Land. The previous ruler of Alabasta could have found out about the ill intentions of the world government, which is why he decided to remain in Alabasta. Needless to say, there are quite a few possibilities, but there is no strong evidence supporting any of them. What will happen next? The death of Cobra and Vivi's disappearance leave Alabasta without a proper leader. Vivi was last seen with Morgan and Wapple. The latter seemed to be very cautious, and he even chided her for talking too loudly. Wapple clearly stated that they would be in trouble if the world government caught them. This implies that the organization wants to get rid of the 2 individuals for unknown reasons. In any case, if the world government's plan is to take over the country, this would be the best time to do so. With no one to rally the citizens, the country would fall in a very short period of time. The world government had to find a scapegoat for Cobra's murder, and they decided Sabo was the perfect option. They began to spread false news about Cobra being killed by Sabo. Instead of tainting Sabo's reputation, it made him popular throughout the world. People living under oppression were extremely happy to hear that the Revolutionary Army was finally making a move. The news roused the flames of rebellion in many places, and Sabo also earned the epithet Flame Emperor. Currently, he is without a doubt the most famous member of the Revolutionary Army, and if they play their cards right, they could use his reputation to great effect. And in other news, latest One Piece chapter reveals the details of the Mariajoy incident. One Piece manga has shifted its focus away from the Straw Hats toward the rest of the events taking place across the world. The Straw Hats have not been seen in action for over a month, but given the quality of the chapters, fans can hardly complain. Oda has revealed a lot of information in the recent chapters about the various happenings. So far, Oda has covered Garp's invasion of Hachinosu in order to free Kobe from the grasp of the Blackbeard pirates. Elsewhere, Shanks decimated the Kid pirates, sending them crashing out of the race for the One Piece. The manga also revealed the result of Blackbeard's duel with Trafalgar Law, which ended in favor of the Emperor as expected. Toward the end of One Piece chapter 1082, Oda introduced the vice captains of the Revolutionary Army, and he also confirmed Sabo's survival. As Sabo sat down with Dragon and Ivankov, he began to talk about what happened in Mary Ajoy, the assault of revolutionaries. The result of the Revolutionary Army's battle at Mary Ajoy was revealed many chapters ago, but the details of the incident were kept under wraps. In chapter 1083, Sabo revealed that he had three main goals that he wanted to accomplish while in Mary Ajoy. The first one was to destroy the symbol of the celestial dragons, which is used to brand slaves. Even if the slaves managed to run away, these markings served to remind them of their horrible past. By destroying the symbol, Sabo and the Revolutionary Army officially declared war on the world government. This action did not go down well with the celestial dragons, as they take great pride in their symbol, which reminds them they are superior to everyone else. Sabo's second objective was to free as many slaves as possible and take back Bartholomew Kuma. The Revolutionary Army commanders fought to free the slaves from the clutches of the celestial dragons. Considering how badly the celestial dragons treated their slaves, it was truly an incredible moment to see them being liberated. The third and final task of the Revolutionary Army was to destroy the food supplies in Mary Ajoy. It now makes sense why Oda kept all the details hidden, because if they had been revealed during the Wano Country arc, it would have undermined the arc. The reason behind the destruction of food supplies was to create panic in Mary Ajoy, since the celestial dragons are so accustomed to having all the luxuries. Leaving them without any food would cause them to go into a meltdown. Since the attack, the Marines and other organizations have been trying to get supplies to Mary Ajoy. However, the revolutionaries have been attacking their cargo ships. Aside from these three major events, there was another big incident involving the Revolutionary Army: Clash of the Titans. Since the celestial dragons were under threat, two of the Marine admirals quickly mobilized to combat the Revolutionary Army. Morley was seen engaging in a fight with Ryukyu, and the fight seemed to be pretty even. Kurasa tried his best to hold off Fujitora, and he was successful in his attempt. Fortune favored the revolutionaries, as the admirals could not go all out because they were in Mary Ajoy. If Fujitora had dropped a meteor like he wanted to, the entire place would be destroyed, and it would earn him the wrath of the world government. Nonetheless, it is still an incredible feat for the commanders to hold off the admirals without any help from Sabo. The Revolutionary Army commanders gave Sabo enough time to look for the key to Bartholomew Kuma's collar. Without their efforts, it would have been impossible for Sabo to get to Kuma safely. There is also a strong implication that Sabo came across the secret of the world government while he searched for the collar key. Impact on the story. The actions of the Revolutionary Army definitely caused a stir within the world government. The celestial dragons must have pressurized the organization to strike back. To make matters worse, rebellions have broken out throughout the world. Many nations have decided against sending the heavenly tribute. With the pressure mounting, the world government needs to do something about the situation. Monkey D. Dragon suggested that they might try to gather the Holy Knights in an attempt to calm things down. Judging from Dragon's speech, it seems that the Holy Knights are a special group of fighters that operate under the command of the celestial dragons. Due to the limited amount of information, it is unclear how this group is different from CP0, who are the personal assassins of the world government. The organization's decision to falsely accuse Sabo of killing Nefertari Cobra seems to have backfired. Instead of tainting his reputation, Sabo actually became extremely famous throughout the world. The common people have been inspired by Sabo's latest deed, and it has given them hope that they can get justice. For now, the reason behind Cobra's death remains unclear, but it does not seem that the world government had a reason to go after Cobra. It is possible that it was done on a whim by the 5 elders after they listened to Cobra. The truth about this particular event might be revealed in the next chapter. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.